Right, here we go. So this is really exciting. This is just an introduction following on from the LinkedIn post, which will happen because I have talked to Luc and I really liked what he's doing, what you're doing, and the event that you've got planned for March 2020 in Paris. And I just thought it's best to hear it all in your words about who you are, what your idea, concept is, focus point, where that's come from, because I think that's really interesting, and then how it's playing out, which is obviously the conference. So I'm just going to jump in for anyone listening with any questions that I may have. But when I listened to Luc in the past, I just was like, that's cool, just listening rather than commenting. So really looking forward to hearing about what you're up to. So first, tell us who you are.
Yeah, thank you, Trish, for the opportunity to present myself. I'm the former Chief Innovation Officer of FT 500 Group, Orange, the telco company. I guess you probably know it. And now with two other experts, I'm writing a new book on what we call the NextGen enterprise and new forms of governance. If you would like to submit a contribution, even now that the book is done, we are publishing in the press new testimonies every week. So that's important to us to share the best experiences of practitioners, specialists over this topic of new governance and purpose-driven organization. And this book will be followed by the first international event in Paris on managerial innovation for, at the same time, the common good and shared governance. And this event will take place on 26 and 27 of March 2020 at the Pierre France Conference Center at the Ministry of Economy and Finance under the patronage of the Minister of Economy and Finance, Bruno Le Maire, because French politicians, the government, put into the law a special status that allowed the companies to become purpose-driven, and so that's really interesting today because it produces a real traction within the economy to be positive, to have a positive impact on the society and the environment as a company, and to become a political player, even if you are an economic player yourself.
And where's your personal passion and interest in this approach come from, and how would you describe it? So you mentioned next generation, new governance, new ways of governing, and purpose for good. So that's sort of how you describe the umbrella way you're looking at things.
Yeah, I think we are reaching a turning point in the history of management. We are entering the economy of innovation, which is fast and highly unpredictable. And at the same time, we have a big problem because employee disengagement has never been so high everywhere in the world. And as you know, business models have been largely disrupted, and the management inherited from Taylor and Ford, for example, and these are the main figures of it. This management persists unchanged, and that's really astonishing. And if you want to manage this growing complexity and speed of the economy, the organizations, they need, I think I'm really convinced about it, new forms of governance and new modes of management. And I think the agile company, the people we interviewed for this book, they are really focused on the purpose of their organization, and this purpose is innervated by the values of the company. not the one that are on the pictures in the meeting rooms, but the one that you live with. They decentralized the authority, these new generation enterprises. They promote autonomy, accountability, responsibility, and at the same time, transparency and trust. These two dimensions are really human and personal centric and highly important. So on the 26th and 27th of March, we will share with experts, with witnesses from all over the world, these experiences of the pioneering organizations in the big adventure that is in front of them, that is opening up to them. I mean, the expression of their collective intelligence. It has been researchers have shown it that the collective intelligence is really powerful and much more powerful than the addition of individual intelligence. And what organizations are trying to do today is to achieve their mission, their purpose, through this collective, powerful intelligence. That is what they need, a new kind of governance.
I love your wording of that it's an adventure. So I like what you're saying about what's happening and the changes that are happening and needed to cope with the changes. But adventure is such an awesome word. And so what it's bringing together in March in Paris next year is all the people who are actively doing it. So the people who are living this adventure, living this change, living this different way of doing it. So they're all coming together to then share their collective knowledge and with the people who are coming, right?
That's it. And personally, I'm a manager. I've always been a manager in a big organization, now in relatively small ones. And I first started to implement Scrum for developers, then a Lean Startup, integrating designers and marketers in addition to developers in small and nimble multidisciplinary teams to deliver projects through iteration and the well-known test and learn. And now I think that the time has come for systemic agility at the scale of the whole organization. And for that, once you've designed your purpose and align your values on it, you can implement progressively an adaptive organization design through decentralized authority, autonomy, responsibility, transparency, and like I already said, confidence and trust. So these are the dimensions that are common to all the methodology framework we have seen through these 200 interviews we made all over the world. And these are the key elements. Whatever the framework, whatever the methodology, there are many. These dimensions that are really centered on people are really key to success in a very complex and high-speed world of innovation.
So the elements that you were just talking about are very people-centric. It's not like there's a whole lot of methodologies out there, and what's central is the tools or the framework or the sort of more concrete elements. The ones you're talking about are quite broad, and that's really interesting to have them common to all the stories that you've been hearing. Because things like trust and confidence, you can't boil them down to just do ABC and you'll have confidence. Do X, Y, Z and you'll have trust. No. You've got to each person's got to then develop that themselves, don't they?
Yeah, and culture and the mindset of the teams of an organization is really at the center of this whole thing. Okay.
And you've got a fascinating array and number of speakers. Like there's actually quite a number of people who are going to be sort of presenting their story from all, as you say, all different countries, but also different approaches, all those different approaches that you're actually talking about.
Yeah, you're right. Different countries, different size of businesses, very various sectors. And we are getting a great traction on the NextGen Enterprise Summit in March. I will share with you some of the speakers. So Jürgen Appelo, a famous author and a startup designer with his famous books, Startup, Scale Up, Screw Up. James Priest, the founder, initiator of Sociocracy 3.0, Tom Thomison of Holacracy, Jean-Dominique Senard, the CEO of Renault. He was instrumental in the new law in France around purpose-driven organization. The same for Pascal Demurger, CEO of a big insurance company that is really purpose-driven. Just the Block from Beurtsoch in the Netherlands. He's managing 14,000 people in the health sector through decentralized authority type of governance. Isaac Getz, Tom van der Lubbe, the CEO of Toshka, a Russian bank, Aaron Dignan, famous author of Brave New Work, and so many others. So I think definitely it will be a fantastic and unique moment in Europe, because Europe is really a continent that is moving fast on these topics of new way of managing, new version of the capitalism. The net result at the end of the year is no more enough for companies. They need something else. They need to have a politic impact on the society and a positive impact. So all this is converging to reinvent the way we organize collectively. We have this purpose to align on the society and to be positive to the society and the environment.
No, absolutely. And I love like so much of your language is collaborative. We and together and collective intelligence, and how do we all, everyone's on their journey and bringing all those journeys together. And if you collectively join all those dots, then you've got something quite amazing collectively together. Sorry?
That's the real nature of the human being, to be social and to gain intelligence by joining an organization, whether it is a profit or a non-profit one, whether it is a public or a private one. This is really how we are efficient and intelligent together. Yeah.
And just as a last point, what's your personal, I'm going to use a New Zealand colloquialism, what's your buzz out of this? What excites you? What gets you really fired up about it all?
I think reinvent the management, disrupt the way we collaborate, because the relationship within the classical, the legacy companies are really from bosses to non-bosses. This is really obsolete. I think we should act as peers with different roles in teams instead of big architecture, pyramidal architectures. And this new network of teams architecture is really interesting, developing the peers relations, adult to adult, I mean. And this is enthusiastic because it will re-engage people and the motivation of these people to act 100% of their capacity, of their talent, whatever they are, through this new purpose to improve the society. That seems simple, but it's the new big thing, I think.
Oh, I think so too. Absolutely. It's perfect. It sounds great. I will absolutely be sharing the link to the event next year in March.
www.thenextgenenterprise.com.
There you go. Share it as well. And look forward to seeing everybody there. Thank you so much, Luc. That was awesome.